Podcast batching day. Guess what? He's back in our podcast again. And our guest today is a business growth strategist and the founder of Chat to Clients, helping local service businesses turn from being the best kept secret to being in the market as the obvious choice. He specializes in building simple, repeatable systems and that will replace unpredictability and also helping people get referral income with consistent client acquisition. And honestly, he is a wealth of knowledge. We've known each other for years. He is also an expert inside our community, helping people with paid ads and also direct marketing. Help me in welcoming the amazing, the one, the only John Bellamy.
Hey Sally, hey everyone.
Hey.
Excited to
Hey,
be
John.
here as
Lovely to
always.
have you back, as always. So, John, you've been on the podcast a couple of times before, so it's great to have you back again, always sharing a wealth of knowledge. Previously, you were, we were talking about, I think it was LinkedIn you were helping people with a lot, but
Mhm.
now you're really focusing in on sort of helping with the paid ads and specifically in the local kind of market area, which, as you know, we are stepping out and kind of reverse engineering our business. We went global first and now we're coming home. But for those of our clients who don't yet know you or our listeners out there, can you let everyone know, I guess, where you started and a little bit about your journey to now where you are with Chat to Clients?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Always great to be back. So, I mean, if I look at the start, I go back a little while, right? And I always like to give credit where it's due. So I started when I finished school in 1997, back in Australia. I didn't know what to do, right? Like a lot of people. So I ended up starting to knock on doors, and I was selling Foxtel subscriptions, telephones, all of that. In fact, I was one of the first four sales agents in Australia to sell the Optus local home phone services when
Oh,
they were doing
wow.
20-cent local calls.
I
So we
did
used
the
to knock
door
on
to door
doors
knocking
and
for
yeah,
AAPT.
yeah. So it's great. So we used to knock on doors and give people 5 cents. Here you go. Here's your first 5 cents in savings on your phones, and then calculate the bills. So I'm a numbers guy, so we used to always calculate how many calls did you make a month and give them the number. So that's how I got started in direct response marketing, because you have to make that first impression and have those conversations. And it was through that I knocked on a door, and then this lady's name was Anne McEachen, and she called me about 4 or 5 days later. And usually, if someone called you after the fact, it's like, oh my God, they want to cancel their contract. Great. I'm going to lose my couple $100 commission. Awesome. So you dreaded those calls. But she rang me and she was like, John, I really liked your conversation. You really helped me out. You were pleasant to talk to, blah, 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 like all of those things. I'm curious, like, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, that's a strange question.
It's
And
a
she's
bit
like,
deep
well,
from a
do
stranger.
you want
Yeah.
to knock on doors or do you want to build a career? And I went, no, okay, I wouldn't mind building a career. And so she was the state manager of a company back then called Salmat. So they used to look after pretty much 2/3 of business mail, all of your junk mail, all of those things that used to come around. That company's since been sold, and it's no longer around, and all of those types of things. But yeah, so on December 15th in 1999, I started my first job as an account coordinator with Salmat at Beaudesert Road, thanks to Anne McEachen. It's a little introduction. So I love giving her credit there. So
Nice.
why is that important? Well, that whole a role with Selmat. Like literally, I was working with small local businesses right through to large corporations. So the Chinese local takeaway restaurant, how do we get their brochures in, to companies like KFC, to companies like Suncorp, to companies like Woolworths, all of those types of businesses. And it was all looking at, like, it's a simple thing. We're putting junk mail in letterboxes, right? Seems simple, but there's all of this stuff that's going through. And through that process and those years with Selmat, this thing called demographic data started to become more important, where we could look at sensor collector districts and go, well, hold on,
Mm.
the probability of somebody that's going to purchase a property or get a loan in this little pocket of 400 people versus this little pocket of 400 people is a higher chance. And this is where, as an example, we put coupons out for KFC,
Mm-hmm.
and we would get some coupon redemptions of up to 16.8% in local stores. So if you think of a catchment of 5,000 coupons going out, and 16.8% of those
Mm.
households would redeem a coupon at some point in the campaign, that's dollars, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that's how I got started in this game. Did that for a few years, went into the recruitment space. Recruitment is literally marketing. I worked with Drake International, had the privilege of being a director of global recruitment there for Australia. When I left, Bill Pollock, amazing man, the grandfather of global recruitment, literally called me down to his office in Melbourne over the Easter weekend and said, come and spend 4 days with me and tell me what's wrong with the company because I want to understand why you're leaving. And you're like, when a director who is a very wealthy man of an organization who literally founded like the modern day recruitment industry back in
Yeah.
1951 calls you down. I spoke to my wife at the time and I said, I'm sorry, I'm booking a flight to Melbourne. I'll see you after Easter. And this is a guy, I have so much respect for him now. He, well, back then as well, always have, but this is a guy that is always recruiting. He's the person that just like, it's that what I talk about with that local celebrity stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to a restaurant and he would have received great service from somebody and he would just start a conversation with them and he'll ask them questions and genuinely be interested in them. And then he would naturally make a pitch. And his pitch is, by the way, my name's Bill. I run a global recruitment company. If you would ever like to, you told me that you're studying this at uni. When you're ready and you would like to have that conversation, give me a call. Even if you wanted to call me tomorrow, I'm going to be in the office. Here's my number. My assistant will answer. Just let her know we spoke at dinner, and I'll take your call. And he would
Yeah.
literally do that the next day. The phone rang. I was sitting with him, and it was the waitress from the restaurant the night
Mm-hmm.
before. Took the call, helped her out. So that, like, all of those little things, they seem meaningless,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what's built that foundation. So that's where I am today. From there, all of those little learnt experiences, all of those things of testing, measuring, and tweaking and finding out what doesn't work. And I just love working with small businesses in helping them, succeed. These are the things. If we can help you generate an extra 100 grand in your business or $500,000 or whatever that number looks like for you, it's not oh, it's just a revenue number like in a lot of corporates. This is life
Yeah.
changing things, right?
Yeah.
So this is why I love the how do we capture that local area attention, create you as that local celebrity so that they're coming to you instead of your competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can come to you and spend money with you in your local business versus one of the big end of town, fantastic. Like
Yeah.
that's what I love doing. So long story, but that's where we
No,
go. So
I
I
love
hope that
that.
helps.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
the fact that, you started door knocking. I did the whole door knocking thing as well. And but recruiting is just marketing, right? And the story of
100%.
being out at dinner and talking to people, like my husband always rolls his eyes at me when I strike up conversations with people, but I genuinely like give a shit. I want to hear what they've got to say. I want to learn about them. I am really, really curious. And then if it leads to, oh, well, I'm Sally and this is what I do and would love to catch up, so be it. My husband rolls his eyes as like, she's selling again. I'm like, no, no,
Yeah,
no. I'm making friends.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
I like what they've got, I'm going to buy from them. I'm going to support small business before I go somewhere else to the big companies. The same, like when it comes to Christmas time, I look through who our clients are, what small businesses we help. And I'm like, can I purchase from these people for Christmas presents and birthday presents before going to Target and Kmart, right? Because not only are you supporting small business, but you're supporting their family, unlike those
yeah,
bigger corporate people who it's all about the bottom line. you and we geek out on numbers. Like,
Oh,
I
we
love
love it.
looking at your spreadsheets. I love to color code my spreadsheets that change color when we hit metrics. So that's one thing that we always we always relate on really well. Um, so I mean, today's episode we're talking about local, right? That's our focus today on becoming a local celebrity. Now, personally, I went global first, kind of ended there because I made friends with some influencers overseas and kind of that's how it sort of took off. But this year, we are really heavily learning how to go local ourselves. We've advertised in Australia as well as America, but right now it's 100% local. So this is a really great topic, not just for our audience, but also personally right now, because we're making a really big shift from something that was working to now, well, honestly, I want to get some steps up and get out of the office.
Yeah, yeah,
10 years of staring at the little green dot, running a business, it's kind of like it's time now to like get off the chair and get out and meet people. Um, Now, when people think local, they think, oh, I'm just going to get referrals from people. But it's more than that. So, why, when we're talking local, do we not just want to focus on referrals alone to really grow that, I guess, local celebrity status?
yeah, absolutely. I think like there's nothing wrong with referrals, right? But I mean, just like you speak to 1,000 businesses, and oh, we proudly build our business on referrals, and you're like, cool. How many referrals did you get last quarter? Oh, two.
Yeah.
And you're like, did they actually convert to clients? Or one of them did, and I'm like, so you got one client in the last 3 months, and that's what I'm proud referral. Most businesses, and this isn't to pick on you, but I sort of am. They're full of shit. Like, let's just be honest. That's just the reality. Because you don't have a referral strategy. You have a I show up at networking event strategy, but you don't have a referral strategy that produces a predictable result, right? And that's the problem with the modern day what people call referrals right now. Is it's like there's all of this guesswork. Most people have got no idea what they're doing. There's no clear follow-up path. There's no follow-up strategy. There's no focus on when I do actually go to an event, what is the outcome that I'm looking to achieve. They think that I went to 26 networking events
Yeah.
this month. I'm a networking guru, but I made $0 and my bank account went backwards because all I did was spend money on breakfast and hung out with the wrong people. Right. So that's just the state of the play. That's just the reality for the majority. If we look at the bell curve, the 95% of them are sitting in that curve, right? There's outliers either side, but that is the problem. And really what it comes down to is ultimately this is your ideal customers are buying from somebody. It's probably just not you, right? And the reason it's probably just not you is because they don't know who you are, because there's no clear system, process, repeatable, action, and that's happening from that. Referrals, yes. Advertising, yes. Across your business, that's the challenge, right? So from a referral point of view, like you would be 1,000 times better in for most people, right? In looking at all of your networking events, and you can do a quick Google search and it'll tell you what they are in the month, and only go to the ones that your ideal clients are going to be at, and have a clear goal of, what, if I could just have three meaningful conversations at this networking function, chamber of commerce, whatever it is, if I could just have three meaningful conversations that may lead to a conversation outside of that network, and then I can decide if we need to enter into a sales conversation. If you just made that shift, your business would change entirely almost within 90 days. The other thing that you would look at is going, okay, out of all of these networking events that I'm doing, my local networking events that I do all year, and being honest with yourself and calculating the time, involvement, the cost to attend, the indirect cost to attend, and then let's just say that your ideal target audience was accountants. If you analyze that versus finding an accountancy conference that
Yeah.
all your accountants are going to be at, and you could pay some money to sponsor, get a booth, and get a speaking engagement. Ideally, it might cost you 5-10 grand. You would get, once again, worked properly, 1,000 times better result, just going to that one thing and not doing any of other networking throughout the year. So that's, once again, it's just, it comes down to a clear strategy, and that's my bugbearer about the referrals. I love referrals. I love the networking side of things, but it's got to be with intention and
Mhm.
and unapologetically. You are a sales organization first and foremost.
Yep.
End
You
of
can't
story.
you can't
Oh, I'm
sell a
not a
secret. You've
salesman.
got
I
to
don't
get,
want to be that.
yeah, you got to get out
Yeah,
there and speak to somebody. But if you're not doing sales and marketing, you're not running a business,
you,
right?
you're not.
Every business
Yeah,
has to be doing sales and marketing.
yeah,
We went to an event recently, and there was about 300 people there. I personally gave out probably around 7 to 8 business cards, I think it was. Ash and Vernodi were there as well, doing the same thing. They were off networking from all of the, I would say, let's take a stab in the dark, around sort of 15 to 20 cards that went out on the night. 3 phone calls. Three
yeah,
people from all of those people actually reached out and reconnected with us.
yeah,
We called everybody, everybody. And it was very interesting to see the, like, they spend this money, they buy the drinks, they pay for the petrol, which at the moment is ridiculous. Uh, but they don't do anything with it when they finish. And, that I guess comes back to strategy. Are you going to these events with that strategy? And 100% agree, strategy first.
yeah.
That's like when you run paid ads, right? We target the audience we want. We don't just blatantly make an ad that's very generic. The same, I think, yeah, I love what you said about networking. Pick a networking event that has your ideal clients at it rather than just going for the sake to say, hey, I'm a networker. Um,
Yeah. And
yeah,
it's the thing, right? Like, everything works and nothing works. Both of those statements are 100% true,
yeah,
because it still depends on you implementing a system or following a process, right?
mm-hmm.
Consistently. It doesn't matter if it's the networking event that you've gone to or the lead that's coming from an ad. Like, the same, I see it all the time. Oh, ads don't work, the crap. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Oh, we spent $500 and we got like 10 leads, and none of that, they all just ghosted me. And I'm like, okay, cool. So what was your process? Like, when did, like, the lead came in, when did you call them? Well, I didn't. I gave them a calendar link. They didn't book in. I'm like, so you're just being freaking lazy and selfish, like, and I know we're speaking harshly and directly, and some people might go, "Geez, this is quite aggressive language, John. I don't like that." That's cool. Switch off and go back to
Yeah,
not running a business. That's fine. I'm saying this because I actually care, and I want you to have a level of success, whatever that looks like for you. If you just want to make 100 grand or 10 million, it doesn't matter. Like, that's a personal thing for you. But business is actually easy from, I should say, business is actually simple from a process perspective, but it ain't easy, right? I
yeah,
always get that messed up.
yeah,
And it comes down to these dumb and boring, simple, consistent following a system. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to find something that's going to work for you specifically, whether it's networking, ads, whatever. But it's something that you can follow and consistently go with. And this is why people should be like working with people like yourself, Sally, and myself, is because we help them get laser focused in on doing the dumb and boring stuff that actually makes them
yeah,
money,
right. I know.
gives them a better life, like,
We had a
anyway.
meeting with a client the other day, and they've got an ad spend budget, and we let them know that the leads are coming in, but at the end of the day, the money's going to be made in the follow-up, right? So we can get all these leads coming in, and one of the clients, there was 2 of them in the room, said, oh, so what I'm hearing is we need to be picking up the phone. And I'm like, of course you do. And then, John, you just said, well, look, do you like money?
Yeah. But,
And I'm like,
do you have bills that need to be paid and this is how you pay them?
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Nail on head, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, that's it. Like, we see it all the time. We will build a funnel with people. We will tell them maybe use networking, that's what the method they want, or run ads, that's the method they want. But that's not it. It's then what? What happens after that? And when you have that process and that system, you're not guessing any longer, right? You're like, okay, I've gotten home within 6 hours, I've got to do this. The next day, I've got to do this. If you were working for an employer, they would be making you do those things,
Yeah.
right? But you're the only one who can make you do it.
Yeah,
and we,
it's the discipline side, and I think like we all start a business for a reason, right? And usually it's because I can do it better myself. I can control my time. I'll have freedom, and then you're like, I started at 1:30 a.m. this morning. That's what time I got up and was doing stuff. But that's by choice, right?
yeah,
I chose to do that. Because we've got a lot of stuff on. I was working with some clients in the US today, and that's what time I just had to get up to get some stuff sorted for them. Choice.
yep,
But do I regret doing it? No. Would I have enjoyed a couple of hours extra sleep? Yeah, probably. But it's fine. But I'll knock off earlier today.
yeah,
We've got those things. So I think it's the building. It's like the system by design, right? Like whatever that is that you want from your life, and then we're choosing it. We're choosing a vehicle of business to help us generate the cash flow in order to support that. That's essentially all we're doing here.
mm,
So why wouldn't we want to make it as efficient, as impactful, as easy as possible to achieve that result?
yeah,
It might not be easy for the first 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years even. But then all of a sudden, if you're diligent and focused and working like your plans, whatever that looks like a 90-day plan we typically do, if you just week by week, doing the dumb and boring things that are going to get you there, then it's just like paying off a mortgage, right? If you
yeah,
if you put the work in, you get it paid quicker. If you don't, you don't.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
definitely. And
yeah,
I guess that's the biggest part, right? Especially when you're starting a business or you're in a small business, you feel like you're wearing all the hats. And there are so many choices every day on what could you choose to do and work on. And I don't know about you, but what I see most people do, make pretty graphics, post on social media, update their course content, right? Make another ebook. They just keep making more stuff.
yeah,
And then they wonder why their bank accounts aren't changing because they're doing the fun simple things versus the mundane boring, and sometimes at the beginning a little bit uncomfortable, like picking up the phone,
yeah,
right, and calling somebody. But the muscle gets stronger when you start actually just following a simple process. It feels awkward and uncomfortable at the beginning, but then it's really simple when you're just doing it every day, right? Yeah. Now,
yeah. It's an
yeah,
interesting thing. Yeah, yeah.
definitely. Now, when it comes to local, you want to get
Mhm.
visible, right? And I guess that's the thing. You want to stay front of mind, tip of tongue. So, in regards to visibility, like how can we get visibility and but also have a system in place to have that visibility, because, there are risks if we're not seen and remembered.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the easiest ways, and in reality, most cost-effective ways for you to create that local celebrity effect, that visibility in that local market, is paid ads. People go, but hold on, so I got to pay for it. It's not cheap, and I'm like, well, hear me out. So let's just say you started with your budget, you can make it whatever you want, right? But let's just say you just started with $5 a day. Okay. And once again, it's the commitment to $5 a day. It's a decision that I'm going to invest about $165 a month, right? That's essentially what you're investing, $5 a day. So it's like at the beginning of each month, I have an auto debit that goes from this bank account to that bank account, and then that bank account pays for my ads, my $5 a day ads. That little thing. We haven't even created the ads yet, right? But that just mental commitment to doing that, you're blowing the money anyway. Let's be honest. You're probably buying wine, or it's not. It's probably not even a dinner out nowadays, right? It's probably half a tank of fuel in Australia
Yeah.
right now. Maybe, I don't know.
Not
Um,
even
so
probably, yeah.
yeah, not even. Or it could be like, for example, like some of those networking events that you're going to for the sake of going to them that you're not actually doing anything with, right? Once again, it's not, that's not saying the networking event's the wrong event. It's your actions at the networking event and post networking event are the problem. So anyway, find 165 bucks, put it in a bank account and start there. What you want to then do is, there's two different types of ads that you're primarily looking at. There's this one that's like your brand awareness, power content style ads, and that's what we're going to focus on. And then you've got your lead generation style, where we're just driving direct to a lead. But to create that visibility, the easiest way to do that is be in front of camera. Okay, people want authenticity now. What we typically recommend in our programs and things like that is, if you can create 2 long form YouTube videos a month. So I'm sitting at my desk now, I hit the record button, and I typically can go and speak for 8 to 15 minutes about something meaningful about a particular topic, right? I haven't done any fancy graphics or anything. It's just the audio quality is good, the camera's good. I'm talking about something of value that my audience would like to hear.
Yeah.
If I started with that, and the reason I say start with that is then the rest of it becomes easier. So if I've got, say, 2 15-minute videos a month, 30 minutes of video, we can then utilize little tools like AI now, like Opus Clip. You can actually, we've got a skill in Claude that does all of this for you now. Like, some of the AI stuff's getting insane,
Mm.
but it can look at that content and then just automatically go, based on, hooks and all of these bits and pieces, here is now another 10 15 videos. Cool. So all of a sudden you've got 2 long forms and you've got like 10 15 shorts each month, and take those shorts and drop them on your social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is. But then we can go and put this power content ad structure over it. So if you imagine, let's just make it super simple,
Mhm.
$5 a day, you would set up in your, we'll talk Meta,
Yep.
so Facebook, you'll set up a campaign that is called brand awareness or power content, and the tool that you'll check, or the outcome, is an engagement ad. So we want to
Mhm.
drive conversations, and then under that one campaign, you would go and create 5 individual ad sets.
Mhm.
Video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4, and each of those ad sets would have a budget of $1 per day. Okay,
Yep.
nice and simple. And then in each ad set, you would pick one of those videos, and you would have one video in there, and you put like your little copy on there, and you will turn it on,
Yep.
and it connects through to your Facebook or your Instagram message. And if they're using Omnisam, which is great, you'll be able to work with the team to go, how do we turn on the commenting option from there? So if they comment training, gift, whatever you say in your video, or have a call to action there, then you can automate some of the follow up. So that, like, in a nutshell, that's what we're doing. We're taking an investment of $5 a day, cheaper than a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah,
five
right.
dollars a day, and we're actually investing it into generating cash, right? Generating inquiry that turns into cash, and so all we then do is just let those 5 run, let them run for a couple of weeks, whatever it is, and then analyze it. Just go, okay, which ones worked well? How many views did we get? How many people did this ad reach? Did we get anybody click the start the conversation button or comment on that video? And there's all of these little micro actions that come from that.
Yeah.
But the most powerful thing is if you've concentrated that on, say, a 10-kilometer radius of Geelong, for example, it's hitting, everyone's seeing those ads, right? So your reach and your visibility, and you'll know it's working because you'll go to that networking event or you'll walk to the shops or whatever, and someone's like,
I know
I've
you.
seen you somewhere. Yeah, I know. Do you talk about blah, 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 blah? This is what we want. This is like it. Once again, it is such a simple thing and low cost for people to
Mm-hmm.
get started on. Most watching this right now will not do it.
100% agree.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so if you like, this is the pivotal thing. If you can just do that and commit to it, like just commit. It is literally it is an infinity spend of $5 a day. I'm never, as long as my business is alive, I'm never turning this thing off. The only thing that's going to change is the video content that you'll put into that campaign,
Yeah.
and it will, just like the stock market, and like Warren Buffett talks about, slow progress is progress.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the compounding interest over time, that will work. So to give
Yeah.
you a live example of that, one of our clients, Mark, he's a personal trainer out of Perth. So we started. He had a bit of fragmented social media stuff, right? So we started just posting organically 3 times a week, every other day, just put a post on, right?
Yep.
Didn't really do a great deal initially, but he had more frequency. So with more frequency, slowly people would start to engage in his post. Slowly he would increase a few likes and things like that. But they're all the vanity. We know organic
Mm.
is dead as
Yeah.
far as reach, unless you've got a cult like following. It's you're
That's
pushing
it.
shit uphill.
There are a couple.
So
That's right. There are a couple of the
yeah,
unicorns out there that do,
yeah,
like your
yeah,
Gary V and all that.
yeah.
But most people, 99% of the population, do not.
Do
Yeah.
not, correct.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did with Mark then is we're like, okay, we've now got we've built the muscle, we've got some consistency in posting. Now let's amplify that, and let's start spending $5 a day. And so we've been running ads now for him for close to 12 months at five
Mm-hmm.
bucks a day.
Yep.
And once again, the same thing happens. They were just engagement ads. They weren't going to lead forms or anything, just pure engagement. But all of a sudden, he's starting to get more likes on his post. He's starting to get a few comments on his post. People are actually messaging his business page. Some of the, not everyone, but then there's a percentage of those people that are engaging in that actually go to a consult with him. And then guess what? They go to a consult and then they end up spending a couple of $100 a week in PT with him. And not all of them do, but it's the where we're putting money in the piggy bank, and we're now getting the interest and the repayments from it on the back end. But
Yeah.
it's such a manageable thing, $5 a day,
Yep.
right? Once again, you could increase that budget to 10 to $50, $100 a day, whatever you wanted to do. It just depends on your catchment and what you're looking to do from there. But this is for a local service business, $5 a day. It's how it works.
Yep.
We do this, like my partner Rebecca. We've got a cleaning company that works in aged care area. We literally have an ad in Budrum on the Sunshine Coast that
Mm-hmm.
is $5 a day, and it's there to do is to generate brand awareness. That's
Yep.
all we're trying to do, and we'll get some inquiries come through. But it's like we're alive. That's all we're trying to
Yeah.
do. We're about to replicate that down in Caboolture because we've got a lot of business down there as well.
Yep.
We're alive. Hey, Caboolture, we're here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a great strategy, and especially when you're just targeting such a small area, and the amount of people that still scroll through Facebook and doom scroll through Instagram. I mean,
yep,
it used to be every 10 ads you would see a sponsor, or 10 posts, and now it's 2 to 3, and there's a sponsored. So they're everywhere these days.
yeah,
But with that engagement, I have the same thing. Like I remember walking around Sydney and down here. Oh, I know you from somewhere. Oh, I've seen your ads, because we're constantly putting a few dollars behind it. And there are big agencies out there that will get you to spend thousands of dollars to manage your ads before you even start spending money
yeah.
on ads. And that's a big thing, I guess, that we do inside of the community as well, right? We would prefer to see our clients, rather than have us like literally watching ads, as like watching paint dry, right? There's not a
Hmm.
lot to do. It's probably every 72 hours you jump in, you have a look at the metrics and jump back out. Better that they're spending that money on the ads than paying us, because at the end of the day, we want them to be successful, not just take their money, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it drives me insane. And once
yeah,
again, this isn't a dig at advertising agencies. They're
no,
running a business like we all are, right?
yeah,
But when you hear it time and time and time again, it's actually you as the business owner. This is your fault because you haven't educated yourself to make a better decision, right?
yeah,
It's just the reality. It's all your fault, just like it's all my fault.
yeah,
And but when you hear it time and time again, like it's I'm spending $1,500 a month or 2.5 grand a month on an agency, and I'm like, cool, okay, great. But I'm not getting a return. The ads don't work. I'm like, well, what's your ad spend? And they're like, oh, I'm spending $500 a month on ads. I'm like, hold on a second. You're spending 3 to 5 times more money on getting somebody to manage it than you are in actually getting traffic and awareness. Like it, if the math was the other way, you're spending $500 in management and 1,500 to 2.5 grand a month on ads. Great. And if
yeah,
it wasn't working, then we have a problem, right? But the other way around, no, the problem is you. And I can guarantee most of those agencies would have said to them, well, hopefully, if they, are good, they would have said your ad spend is like for what you're looking to achieve is like just it doesn't work. And the general rule of thumb, and
right,
I know Sally, you and I agree with this, is the general rule of thumb is if you are going with an agency, and like some people should because they're spending a great dollar amount with and they're specializing in doing what they're doing. But if you're going with an agency, you should be spending at least bare minimum 3 times the amount in ad spend than what you are in management, ideally five,
yeah,
right? In That's my opinion. And really, where does that then become viable? I think, once again, my opinion. I think unless you're spending like a bare minimum of $10,000 a month on ads, I don't believe, my opinion, that it's worth investing in getting anybody, let alone an agency, to manage your ads. You should just do
mm,
it yourself. Because when you're at that level and beyond in spend, this is where you're retargeting, really analyzing your creatives. You've got bandwidth in that budget to start making some better quality decisions
yeah,
and doing a whole bunch of things. You've got more of a share of spend to be able to do that versus I'm spending $100 to $500 a month.
yeah,
There's not much you can do with that. It just needs to be literally a dumb and boring process that gets visibility, that generates inquiry, that you follow up.
yeah,
That for most local
follow up.
service businesses is all you need. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I see people like go to networking events and I said, well, that's your marketing budget, your petrol, the time you spent there,
Mhm.
the drinks you bought, the food you bought. That's your marketing budget. Or we had a client the other day and I've been trying to get her to turn on her ads. She's like, oh, I'm just going to try locally first. She's printed flyers. She's driven around and put flyers up in places. And I'm like, do you realize everything that you've just spent on printing and petrol and all of that, where you're just putting it up and hoping somebody that might be your ideal client might walk past that window or read the board at Coles where they've put up the posters versus taking that money and putting it towards ads that we can target people more directly as well. Like
Yeah.
when I used to have to go and do letterbox drops, I'm like, this is a waste of resources and time. I'd be better to knock on the door and ask the person, save the money on all the flyers dropping in the mail, and only give it to those people who are interested
Yeah.
versus just it's like throwing them in the air and hoping something sticks, right? So that's strategic decision making. It's like
Yeah.
you're already spending that money. And I could see that she was like, oh yeah, I did just spend all that money on petrol. And she didn't think of it as marketing money. She just saw it as a way that I'll just go do this, get some steps up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we could have put that into ads and I bet you'd have a couple of leads by now. And you've got
Yeah,
nothing from them.
it's an interesting, and once again, it's the mindset shift of like becoming that strategic, being very intentional in your
Mm-hmm.
business, putting a 90-day plan in place, three big rocks, just focusing on that. We're not filling the jar with sand, we're filling it with the big rocks. So yeah, I really, really want you to think about these little bits and pieces. Like, to give you an idea, the direct mail stuff. Like I said right at the beginning, everything works and everything doesn't work. Right? My brother is a plumber. Okay, and not to typecast plumbers, but he would be the ones that everyone go, he's a typical plumber. You know, he does his thing. He's great at his craft, and he is amazing at what he does. But if you get him to do ads or CRM systems or something like that, he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Hmm.
Like, it'd be like getting me to go and change a tap. I'm like, "What? What? I don't know how to do that. I'd probably flood the joint, right?
Hmm.
We've all got skill sets and things, but what we did with him, and this is going back like 6, 7 years ago, he was like, can we just do letterbox drops? And because that was my background, I'm like, yeah, of course we can. So we intentionally wrote a direct mail sales letter
Mm.
with an offer on there. And then what he did was he knew certain areas in Brisbane that were a bit older. He knew that there was a lot of renovations happening in the area. What do people do when they renovate?
Yeah.
They want to put bathrooms in, or they want to put new toilets in. So he able to structure a deal to buy pallet loads of toilets essentially at a
Hmm.
discounted rate because he bought pallet loads. So he had a good margin on the toilets, and he would do letterbox, like go walk his dog and go and spend an hour or 90 minutes. But this was literally his marketing,
Yeah.
right? He would go 3 times a week to a different area and go and do the letterbox drop. And then every 3 weeks, he would go back to the area that he did first and then put the second version of the brochure in the letterbox drop. He would consistently generate minimum of like close to 2 grand a week
Yeah.
in just installing toilets, right? Just
Hmm.
off that flyer. And when we started it, I think it was like $197, like the usual seven thing to put
Yeah.
a toilet in. I think it's now like 480 or something like that, where it's that too, just with the price increases.
Yeah.
Um, but what happens off the back of that is he gets in there. That's his low ticket offer. I've come in and I've installed a toilet. How many homes now have one toilet? Not
Yeah.
many in
Right.
Australia. Most of them
Yeah.
have got two or three.
Yeah.
So there's usually, very rarely would it be one toilet. So his basket analysis of share of wallet is typically around about $1,000 to go off the back of that. So he knows he's going to generate $1,000. And then he knows that when he's in there, he just asks them a couple of questions. Hey, while I'm here, do you want me to just go and do a quick check around all of your plumbing and just see if, like, I'm not sure if you've had this, but see if there's any leaks or anything and just give you a report? You don't need to do anything, but I'll just let you know if anything sort of looks like it's going to need some attention.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that would be great. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's fix up your kitchen flick mixer. He's had people that have gone, do you do guttering work? And he's like, yeah, yeah, we can do that. And all of a sudden it's 30 grand's worth of, he's got one guy in Sunnybank that has a Chinese guy up there who was a small business owner. And I still remember the story. He goes, I put the letter in the letterbox drop. The guy was just getting home from work and he goes, hey, hey, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm a local plumber. I was just doing this. And he goes, is it your business? And he goes, yeah, yeah, it's my business. I do it. And he goes, I run local businesses too. I've moved to Australia, and I'm so grateful to like what Australia has provided me in the opportunities. He's been here for like
Hmm.
30 years or something.
Yeah.
What it's provided me over that time. I am actually going to be getting some plumbing work done in the next couple of months. Can I keep this and call you? And he's like, yeah. So he goes back to this guy's place like maybe once a year now, but he's spent in excess of 30 grand
Yeah.
from this one guy, and that
One.
was from a letterbox drop, right?
Yeah. There
But
you go. But he was
it's the
targeted, like,
local celebrity.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he was
Yeah,
targeting in the areas he was choosing, right? He just wasn't doing close
correct.
to home. He was actually thinking before he got in the car, where's a good
Yeah,
area? And that again comes to strategy, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we get door knockers. I had a guy twice now, he's knocked on my door. But he'll come out, he does trimming, he trims hedges and
Mhm.
tree trimming. And we've got these massive hedges out the front of our house. That's why he always knocks on our door. But that's how he gets clients. He goes into the area to do some tree trimming. And then
Yeah,
after he's done, he spends an hour just walking and looking for people with big hedges and just
yeah.
knocks on the front door and says, you've got a big hedge, want
Yeah,
to trim it, right?
yeah, yeah,
So he's making use of the time that he's already come out to that area, and then he's pounding the pavement after the job is done. Now, I couldn't hire him because my husband actually enjoys to trim the hedges. But I said to him, well, I told him about missed call text back, right? We had a
Yeah.
conversation. He's a small business owner. I'm a business owner. And yeah, so even him knocking on the door, it became a potential client for me,
Yeah.
even though
And
I
I love
couldn't
it
hire him to do
because
the hedges. Yeah.
yeah, and I love it. And like to bring it full circle on, like we've spoken about networking, we've spoken about letterbox, we've spoken about paid ads, like it's really comes down to what we're talking about here as multi-channel marketing or multi-channel advertising. And this is like all of these things can really bring it back to you becoming that local celebrity, right? So if you imagine if you just had at that core, we're spending, the $5 a day as a starting point, to really start driving that connection with people. We're going to build the visibility, and then we're still going to do our networking. But now that more people will know who we are because they're like, we're essentially, we've got our TV ad on 24/7. So that's going to build our brand. But now we're going to networking with intention. We can start speaking to them. Oh, if you've seen my ads on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, yeah, this is what we offer. Maybe like, is that something of interest? Maybe we can have a chat. And then all of a sudden, they go out and they do a quote or go and do a job if they're a local service business like a tree trimmer or whatever. And my recommendation is, say, to all of the local service businesses we work, if you've pulled up to 21 Smith Street, an old real estate term is the 10 by 10 by 20. So when you're out there, it doesn't matter if it's a quote or you're doing the job, actually do it both times. You door knock or letterbox drop the 10 houses either side of where you are and the 20 directly across the road. And that is part of your strategic process,
Yeah.
right?
It's the
That's
thing you
what
do
happens.
every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's
And
a process. It's a
yeah,
system. Yeah.
yeah, it's the compounding effect of that. So, like if I talk about in the cleaning space, one of the things that we do is because we work with the villages, is when we work with the villages, we typically a couple of times a year offer fan cleaning for every resident in the
Mm.
village. Because in Australia and in particularly Queensland, the fans are on, then they turn them off and they look all gross.
Yeah.
So we do that as a complimentary service. There's no strings attached to it. Some of them have already got other cleaners. Some of them don't have cleaners at all. Some of them are our clients. And the team will just go in there and they'll just literally block out half a day, and they need to register on a little list. And then they go in there and they'll have a little cup of tea or whatever with them, and they're in and out in under 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
And they clean the fans, have a little chat, and it's just that it's part of the branding exercise.
Mm.
And in those communities, you're the talk of the town.
Yeah, right.
So it's just like that's just part of the strategy.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you just got to be thinking about and considering. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's something people think that they need for marketing that they don't actually need?
Um, I just need the offer to be right. I need to work on what hex color I'm using on my
Right. Oh my goodness. I
ad.
can't
I
start
need the
until my
landing
logo is
page.
finished.
Yeah. Um, I just want to get someone else's opinion that have got nothing to do with anything in business or my business whatsoever. And yeah, it's excuses,
Yeah,
right? Like
100%.
honestly, you just need to start. It doesn't need to be perfect. Like as you know, I've recently moved to Malaysia. I love watching YouTube, and there's a channel there. Andrew runs a company called the Nomad Capitalist, and they
Mm-hmm.
literally help wealthy people move internationally. I am not a client of Andrew's, right? We aren't at that wealth level that we would need to be at, straight up. Doesn't mean that I don't love his stuff. And I tell people this all the time. His channel is a great channel to look at from a content perspective. So it's Nomad Capitalist is the channel if you want to go check it out. And if you look at the videos that he created 2 years ago, like 2 years, everyone's like, that's so long ago, man. That's like last week, right? Like 2 years ago from what he's creating now, and the content that he's delivering, it's the same content. It's like if you are looking to move country, increase your residencies, have a plan B, C, D, or E, it's the same stuff. Go to nomadcapitalist.com/apply. There's a great plug for Andrew and the team over there because they do bloody great work. Like I said, I'm not even a client, so it's not paid promotion. But if you look at the like just how his confidence in the delivery and how the videos looked, just direct to camera videos 2 years ago to what they are now, amazing. And
Mm.
the only thing that's changed is the time investment and the number of reps that Andrew's done in video.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he just went, I'm going to start doing video, right? And I'm going to make sure that I'm doing, at least in his case, he typically does at least a video a week, sometimes like 2
Mm-hmm.
videos a week. And he's done that, and he's seen his subscriber growth. He's seen, obviously, every video has a call to action, which is always go to nomadcapitalist.com/apply in it. So it
Yeah.
has that there. And he's just committed to it, let go of the outcome, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I need to get 50,000 leads next week. He's just like, no, I'm committing to doing the reps, right? Every week I'm doing the reps. It's going live. I have faith that this will bring a good positive outcome over time. It's the
Mm-hmm.
compounding interest effect. He has now got about 1.1 million subscribers.
Wow.
He runs an event in KL every year called Nomad Capitalist Live,
Mm-hmm.
and he is working with some freaking serious wealthy people, right?
Yeah.
I just sit there and I go, what a dream. Like, and it's like he's obviously got a team and everything around him, and he's sharing a thing that you can see it. He's passionate about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's really a dumb and boring thing, right? Like all of us do.
Yeah.
It's no different to the plumber, no different to the takeaway shop, no different to the business coach out there. It's just his thing is I help people get more residencies or get or collect passports. That's what
Yep.
I do. And I like to work with wealthy people. So if you've got cash, I'm working with you.
Yep.
I think like for someone just to start working with them, they've got to drop like 30K or something like that US just to start,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
The conversation, which is that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's where he's worked with.
Yep.
Um, but he's committed to a process for over a period of time, and he's seeing the results. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's the
just
difference.
we do strategy with Sally every single week.
Yeah.
So it started out, it was Motivation Mondays. Then
Yep.
it turned into it's had a few different names over the time, but it's always been a regular weekly live, same time every week. I've got enough content now that if I am not well, I can just stick a replay up. But everybody
Yep.
knows that I'm live at that time. We don't get a lot of live viewers. We get more people watching it or on the replay. But then that content is repurposed. It goes to podcasts and social posts and all of those. But that's been consistent now. I don't even know how many years I've always done the same time. Like my husband, my whole family, they know Tuesday, Sally's out. Every morning, Sally's out. She's doing her
Yep.
live. And it's a muscle, right? It's just like breathing now. Everybody knows on Tuesday, it's Strategy with Sally Day. But
Yep.
what we can do with that content after, this is one big thing that we ask lots of our clients to do is just start with one alive a week.
Yep.
And then repurpose the hell out of that. And like,
Because I remember back in the day, right? You were starting to you committed to doing like a live a day for how many days was it?
365.
Yeah.
So a whole
And
year.
I know your organic reach and following went to tens of
Yeah,
thousands or
it
something, right?
did. I
Yeah.
started at 2,000 followers on the Sally Sparks Cousins business page. And in 12 months, we grew to 70,000
Yeah.
from live streaming. I mean, of course, I was running a few ads and things like that
Of course.
through it as well. But if it wasn't for that every day, now sometimes it was multiple times a day. It was on weekends gardening. It was not
Yeah.
always business related. I would say 5 days of the week it was some educational thing, but on weekends or if I just had a thought, I would go live. And, you know, that really, I guess that's another thing that really helped me get into America as well, right?
Yeah.
Because here's this crazy rainbow haired lady um, live every day. And I looked back recently, it was 8 years ago. Eight
Yeah.
years
Wow.
ago that I did that. That shows how long we've known each other for.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
365 days. Now, look, I'm going to be totally honest. I didn't go live for 365 days. It was around 200 and something. I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh my God, I didn't go live.
Yeah.
And I forgot yesterday because there was a couple of times it was like 2 minutes to midnight. I went live and I'm like, I'm live. Everyone's asleep. I'm here. Good night. Right.
Yeah.
Or I had some surgery. I got home and I had some eye surgery. I had my pirate patch on. And I was like, I'm back. Made it home from the hospital. I got nothing. See you tomorrow. Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't every day something good. But
Yeah.
there was that one day I missed. And I went live the following day and I said, I'm so sorry. I missed yesterday. Now, I can't tell you how many people started sending me messages saying, oh, well, that must be a relief. You don't have to continue. So they all thought that I was going to stop because I
Yeah.
missed a day. And I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah.
going to keep going. Now, would you say I didn't go live for 365 days straight because I missed a day?
Yeah.
Right. I think I can still claim that badge if I say also I went sometimes multiple times a day.
And I would also be, why is your opinion even important to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't
What?
like,
But this is
yeah.
where people they start
Unless you're
something and
spending
they
money
give
with
up
me
too
or we have got
fast.
an intimate relationship, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it means
Right.
nothing to me. Yeah.
That's right. And that's
Yeah.
like the haters and the people that love to, you know, troll
Yeah.
you and stuff like that. I'm like, that's why there's that beautiful block button. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Don't need your
Yeah.
negativity. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Or
There's
I get
8
those
billion people, I
really
think, now on the
long.
planet, right?
Yeah, I get those
Yeah.
really long emails that people have probably procrastinated on and gone keyboard warrior on. And I'm like, oh, nasty, delete.
John, you put a Z in organized instead of an S, and that really hurt me as an Australian. I'm like, enjoy your life. We are not
Oh,
going to be working together.
no, no,
That
no.
is fine.
Yeah,
So I
I
think,
preach that I make mistakes and spelling
yeah,
is bad all the time. So if you can't
yeah,
handle that, you understand it, but it's spelt wrong, that ain't my problem.
yeah. It's crazy. So I know I can hear it because I heard the voice in my head before going, I bet you people are watching this going, but I don't want to do video. I feel really uncomfortable. Or
Hmm.
I don't want to put my face out there and all of that type of stuff. That's cool if you decide, once again, it is your business, it is your life. I'm not going to tell you you should be doing video, but if you consciously decide video is not for me, that is fine. It's just know that you're missing one of the big leverage points in your business. It doesn't mean that you can't run a successful company at all. It just means you need to go, you know what? I'm making a conscious decision. I am not doing video. I'm not putting my face out there. Cool, no worries. What if that's the decision? Great, block it off. That is not. I'm not entertaining that thing in my life ever again. Cool. Now, what is the strategy for you?
Exactly. I was just
Right?
kind of, like, I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
Here it comes. But what
Yeah.
is the strategy?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's not
And then
that,
we just need to
then
go
what?
and find the strategy.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, once again, I'll come back to it again. Everything works and everything doesn't, right? It depends on what you do with it,
Yeah.
right? Like yellow pages still works for certain businesses, believe it or not, right?
Yeah.
It's what are you actually going to do, right? There's AI now where you could clone yourself and then just get the AI to do it for you if you wanted to go down that way, or get an AI avatar that becomes the face of the brand, or hire talent to go and do that. I remember, like, I had a relationship with Conveyancing Work Solicitors out of Queensland years ago. We had like a marketing territory with them, and they dropped. They were always on radio. Radio worked their backsides off when COVID, not before, sorry, not COVID, when the GFC happened. They doubled their investment, doubled down on everyone was pulling away on spend. They doubled down. They had 10.4% market share of conveyancing in Queensland. It was roughly about that. The closest other, don't hold me on the stats on this, but it's
Yeah.
about that, if I remember correctly. The next closest conveyancing firm in Queensland had less than 1% market share. So it was
Right.
a pretty decent deal because they doubled down on radio ads. And then they went, you know what, we're Queensland. We want to go and get some celebrity endorsement. So they went and spent a bucket load of cash with Shane Webke, I believe it was at the time. And then Shane Webke's voice is coming on the radio, a gazillion times a day. And, Queensland's a big NRL state. People, Shane Webke uses conveyancing works. I'm going to use conveyancing works. So there's ways around this. Just because you don't want to be on video or you feel uncomfortable being on video or whatever, that's fine. It doesn't mean video doesn't work, because it works. We just got to be creative and go, okay, well, maybe I still want to do video, but I don't want to be the person. So either I hire talent or purchase some type of AI where I've got an avatar that thing becomes the voice for the brand.
Yeah.
But there's pros and cons with all of that, right?
Yep. Yep.
So there's options out there that you got right now. That's all I'm
Yeah, for
saying.
sure.
So
Everyone's got to
for
make a
those you
choice.
listening, going, I don't want to do video, I'm going to switch off. Well, there's an option there for you.
Well, I mean, the weekly live now has our podcast episodes up to 500 and something episodes that we now have on the actual podcast itself. For the last 3 years, we've made it into the top 10 for the Australian women's lifestyle podcasts.
Yep.
And last year or this year, we're number 2. So I'm goaling for number 1.
Yeah.
But
This is awesome, and I like, that's what I love about it, because you're literally leveraging this, right? Like you're live streaming it to your group, you're then going and putting it out on the other platforms. I'm sure you're going to cut it down into micro content. You'll probably turn it into a blog, do some email campaigns from it, put this in the members area as a resource. Like there's all of these things, and guess what we just did? One video.
Yep.
Right.
That's it.
So
We're
that's why I
currently
love
streaming
video.
to 10 locations right now.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And like on that note as well, then we'll hear, oh, but it's easy for you, Sally. Oh yeah, because it doesn't require any effort. You just woke up one day and got number 2.
Yeah.
Like don't forget about the metrics at the beginning. It's the effort, right? And it I know people that are doing multiple, close to 7 figures. They're not quite there at 7 figures, and their database has got about 400 people on it, right? So what's your excuse, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's there's all of these things. Oh, but I don't have this. I don't have this. I couldn't possibly do that. Oh, it's hard. You don't understand. It's so hard for me. I don't have an area in my house that I could record a video.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness. Just
if you scroll back,
job.
Well, they got rid of all of the live videos, but you can go back through YouTube. I literally had this tiny little corner. I bought a ring light. I would have to suck my breath in to crawl into the little corner where a ring light and a phone. And that was the spot I stood most of the time when I did my live. It was, I had to put a sheet up because there was a wardrobe open with no doors next to me. There's a sparkle sign behind me. I painted that and blue tacked it to the wall. But it was this tiny little corner in the room in my house, so it could just live there. And every day when I was doing 365 Live, I could just chuck my phone in, squeeze in, talk a little, walk away. And it's out of the way of everybody. It's just this small little corner inside the room. And honestly, just pick up the thing now. The cameras are so good. Just hold it wherever you're sitting, right? It's so easy and it's very inexpensive. It doesn't, you don't need to have all the gear that I've got. I only have the gear because, well, I wanted it. not because I needed it, and
And you
I wanted a nice
monetize it.
setup.
This is a key strategic decision on what you were doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And it kind of up
yeah.
levels my presence. You know, we have quite high ticket offers. I don't want to be showing up all the time just on my phone sitting in the backyard. But in the beginning, that's all it was one ring light and a phone. And before the ring light, you know, the things that you suction cap onto the
Mhm.
to the car window, because
Yep.
I am a photographer, so I know muted lighting. So in the shade, in the house, suction capped onto a window, and that's how I used to go live. Um, so yeah, it is easy. We've seen so many people who are scared to go live because they think that they're overweight, or they don't like their teeth, or their hair's too fluffy. But then they start, and it's easier than they think. It's building that confidence muscle. Like one of our clients, Jenny, she's got crazy hair, and she just leans into it. She's like, she loves her crazy hair now. But I remember in the early days, she was, oh, but look, I can never tame the hair. I'm like, lean into that, like joke about
Yeah.
it, right? And other clients with, teeth or whatever, I'm like, you show up and be authentically you. The people who like you will find you.
And
And those
I
that
think
don't
this is the
block.
thing. Yeah, and I think like most local businesses, if you gave them an extra 10 clients this month, their business would probably break, right? Most of
Right?
them, that'd just be the reality. They wouldn't be able to service it, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I could do that. Well, okay, once again, you're the outlier, but the bulk of them, their business would break. So it's not like we're looking for. I need, you're not a large software corporate that needs to bring in 1,000 new subscribers every month on a paid subscription, right? Most businesses, it's like, okay, well, what's our average transaction value? How many of those do I need as new clients each month? And let's go through there. So once again, it doesn't mean I need to, but I need to get 10,000 views per video or whatever. Yeah, that can be worked on down the track, but it's not. It's about the execution of the intention, right? We set a goal, we set a plan, we've got our to-do list this today, this week, whatever, and we do it, and it gets published,
That's it.
right? It's
Right?
you don't need another 40 funnels that have never been put live. You just need one dumb and like I always liken it back to like McDonald's or Coca-Cola because everyone knows who they are. Like whether you like them, consume it or not, everyone knows the brands, right? And they just it's a dumb and boring, simple thing. Essentially, one product, and then that they started with, and then they expanded it beyond that. But they just got good at perfecting one little thing. And when I say perfecting, I don't mean that it's the best in class, but they perfected their system to sell that one thing. Their process to go, how do we acquire attention, get that attention to buy our thing, and make sure that we're profitable on the back end.
Yeah.
And they're
And
just working that
that's it.
system, and then they added different brands, different flavors, different things, and just looked at improving that business model. Every single business can all do that. It's
Yeah.
just got to be worked out for you individually, right? And this
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's so exciting. Like it's so much opportunity to do these things. You just got to have a crack and
That's
do it.
right. And it makes me sad when somebody's got such an amazing idea and offer, but they never put it out to market. They just
Yeah,
post on social media and think that that's launching.
yeah, yeah. It's
All
crazy.
right. We could talk for days. We're very good
We
at
could.
this. We could. Let's move into fast talk. So fast
Okay.
talk, Mar gets a list of questions together for us, and it's 2 minutes. So let's do this. So referrals or paid ads,
Paid ads,
video or written content,
video,
long form or short form,
long form video,
organic or paid reach,
paid,
personal brand or business brand,
personal,
consistency or creativity,
consistency.
visibility or conversion.
At first, visibility,
Yeah. Trust or traffic,
At first, traffic.
Facebook or Instagram?
Depends. Both.
Depends.
Yeah.
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 Automation or manual follow up?
Uh, Both.
Yeah,
Start with automation, but human overtaking. Yeah.
that's it. Human to human, nothing beats it.
Yeah.
Oh well, this I love this question, but I know what the answer is going to be: CRM or spreadsheet. Thanks, Ma.
I
Great
love me a
question.
sexy Excel spreadsheet, but CRM every
Yeah,
day. Yeah.
every day. It's your team in
Yeah.
a box, right? It's
Yeah. Yeah.
so much automation. One platform or multi-platform?
Start with one,
Yeah,
smash it, then
yeah.
expand.
That's what we did. We just went all in on Facebook. Um, Talking head videos or edited content?
Talking head,
Uh, Authority or popularity?
authority,
Quality or quantity?
quality.
One, work smart or work hard? Oh, Ma.
I don't know. That's a head scratcher. Work smart. Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Green tea,
Green tea.
gunpowder. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a coffee girl through and through. And I'll finish off with the last one. What's one word to describe your business journey?
Chaotic.
We don't talk about it
It has
enough.
been. It's like we see the squiggly line, the point A to point B, and it's like,
Yeah, I would try. Blah, blah, blah. I know, but measure, optimize, measure, optimize. That's the
yeah,
thing. Like, we don't talk about it enough, I guess. A lot of us as business owners, we like to showcase, oh, I got this many follows, or we like to showcase all the big, bright, beautiful stuff. But we also don't talk about the swan that's legs are like this under the water in the early
yeah.
days, right? Um,
Exactly. I mean, it's like if you've ever been to Japan, Japan works, right? Like it's systemized, it works. But if you really look at it, it's just organized chaos
yeah,
because there's
exactly.
so much going on. But this is where the system happens, right?
Hmm.
And you can only perfect one thing at a time. This is why we're a big believer in 90-day plans and three big rocks,
Yep.
right? Just that's it. Like typically, we're only doing one rock that we'll look at each quarter.
Yep.
But it's because everything I'm doing, as I always say, everything I'm doing today, I'm looking for 3 years from now.
Hmm. Yeah.
So if what I can do today, what is that going to produce 3 years from now? Like our move to Malaysia, we're looking at that 10 years from now,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
If we did nothing different, but through different structures and things like that, we can keep $100,000 as an example more a year in cash. That's $1 million liquid for not doing anything else other than being in a different location.
Hmm.
um, uh, that's a pretty good return.
Yeah.
And that's just an example. They're just made up numbers, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's like an example of what you're looking at. So
Yeah, we
yeah,
do the same
it's organized
thing.
chaos. Yeah,
We do the VTO well
yeah,
once a year,
yeah.
and we look back at it. So if people don't know, that's from the on EOS, um, uh,
Entrepreneurial operating
entrepreneurial
system.
operating system. Yeah,
Gino
and
Wickman.
traction.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we do the same thing, and then each quarter we set our top couple of rocks that we want to achieve, and then the decisions we make and the choices we make to what are we going to do, is it servicing that rock, right?
yeah,
If I'm going to the networking event, it needs to service that rock, it needs to drive people to that one thing rather than 50 different lead magnets or ideas or events. What's that one thing you can focus on? I find when I do coaching sessions and strategy sessions with our clients, some clients struggle to look 3 months into the future. I want to know where they
hmm
want to be in 12 months, and they struggle with that.
yeah.
But how, I just can't understand how you can start a business without like a 5 to 10 year goal. It's going to change every 6 to 12 months. But why, if you don't know where you're trying to get in 5 to 10 years, it's so much harder to make decisions today that are strategically aligned with that goal. They're just kind of stabbing at the dark and, oh, I'm running a
Well,
business. But
It's because it's a reaction.
mm,
I hate my job. I can do it better than the boss man, and I'm going to make more money. What, like, he bills out at $300 an hour, and I only get paid 20. I'm going to do it heaps better, and you're like, okay, cool, no worries, mate. Yep, cool.
yeah,
Good luck.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
right.
I heard a stat the other day, like an average consultant in Australia that generates about 300, like a consulting business
Hmm.
that generates 350K a year, is flat out after paying business like operating costs, GST, tax, like company tax, personal tax, is flat out taking home about 65K a year.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely crazy with all the
yeah,
overheads and staffing and software and just all the
yeah.
things. The same, like
So
you will hear a lot of business owners talk about their revenue. I want to know
mhm,
what's your profit, baby.
yeah, yeah,
Revenue is
exactly.
easy to shout from the roof, but there are $1 million businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses that are not profitable just because their revenue looks good.
Yeah,
Okay, ending with the question that I've always got to ask is you need to complete the sentence. I know you've done this in a previous episodes. I should go back and
yeah.
find all of them. But you say, hi, my name is John Bellamy and I sparkle because, and then fill in the blank.
Okay, cool. All right. So, hi, my name is John Bellamy. I sparkle because I help you as a local service business, um, go from being that best kept secret in the market to actually, being that local celebrity. There
Love
we go.
that. Love that. Awesome. Thank you so much, John. Now, if people want to learn more about you, stalk you, find you over on the socials or wherever, where can
Yeah.
they hunt you down?
Just go to easiest ones, go to johnbellamy.com. So that's JOHNBELLAMY.com, or you can go to chat2clients.io if you want to go there as well.
Awesome. Thank you again for showing up and some awesome conversation. Like we can always just talk for days and we tend to tend to do
Yeah,
that whenever
love
we
it.
catch up.
Yeah.
uh,
Thanks, Sally.
no problems. Wonderful. All right, everybody. We have another podcast guest coming up that will be happening real soon. So come back at 1 p.m. Melbourne time for our next guest. But as always, never let anyone dull your sparkle, and I'll see you on the next live.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go